Hi friends, this is Mainak Misra and welcome back to my channel. Today I will discuss with you Jafar Panahi's No Bears. Jafar Panahi is not an unknown name in the world of films. Viewers all over the world are well aware of his indomitable spirit and courage to make films as an independent filmmaker. He was banned from making films in 2010 for 20 years, but he does not know how to stop. He does not know how to surrender. He kept making films, defying all the odds. He made This Is Not a Film in 2011. He made Taxi in 2015, Closed Curtain in 2013, and Three Faces in 2018. No matter how badly the Iranian authoritarian and suppressive government tries to break his indomitable spirit, Panahi keeps making film in Iran. He never surrenders, he never gets feared, he is not afraid of anybody. In No Bears, he is directing a docudrama about an Iranian refugee couple, Bakhtiar and Zara, who are temporarily staying in Turkey but desperately trying to migrate to Paris. And in the other storyline of the film, he gets embroiled in a fallout between the villagers of Jaban and a young couple whose affair does not get approved by the villagers. In the midst of ordinary Iranians, Panahi shows Iran and its people. He makes a solid and vivid statement about Iran and its people. Now let's discuss the story. Panahi plays a version of himself in this film and has rented a room in a village named Jaban near the Iran-Turkey border. And from there he is directing a docudrama about an Iranian refugee couple, Bakhtiar and Zara, who are temporarily staying in Turkey but are desperately trying to migrate to Paris. And Panahi has rented a room in that village because of its proximity to the filming location, a Turkish city nearby. He is directing the docudrama, instructing his assistant director Reza on the internet. Reza arranges for people smugglers to take Panahi to the filming location for a few days. While crossing the border, Panahi gets afraid. Panahi is afraid. He steps back and starts driving toward Jaban. When a young woman approaches Panahi and desperately asks him whether he has captured her photograph with her boyfriend Solduz. The woman's name is Gozal. And three villagers meet Panahi in his room and ask him whether he has captured the photograph. Panahi denies, and the villagers say very clearly that as per the village tradition, a girl's umbilical cord is cut in the name of her future husband, and only that man can marry that girl. So, as per the village tradition, only Jacob can marry Gozal because during Gozal's birth, Her umbilical cord was cut in the name of Jacob. But now Ghazal is in love with Soldus. So this is the problem. And Panahi denies that. Even he is ready to give the memory card of that camera. But the problem is that a little boy testimonies that Panahi did capture the photograph. And now the villagers clearly ask him to swear in the name of Quran that he has not captured the photograph. While going to the swearing room, a villager approaches Panahi and warns him of wild bears on the road. And he offers tea to Panahi. But when the tea is over, he says that there is no bear on the road. And these stories are made up to scare people. While the town people, the city people have problems with the authorities, the village people have problems with superstition. And all these stories are made up to scare people. In the swearing room, Panahi swears on the video camera instead of Quran. And he questions the village tradition of cutting the umbilical cord of a girl during childbirth in the name of her future husband. He directly questions that tradition, and an intense fallout breaks out between the villagers, including Jacob and Panahi. Panahi's filming gets a jolt as a furious Zara turns to the camera and questions Panahi of deviating from the principle of showing only truth in his film. She accuses Bakhtiar of securing a fake passport. Now she will have to travel to Paris all alone. She is heartbroken. She doesn't want to leave Bakhtiar and go there all alone. Heartbroken and devastated, she commits suicide by jumping into the sea. And this is a very, very sad end for Zara. Panahi's landlord, Ghanbar, reluctantly asks Panahi to leave the village as per the instruction of the police officials. While driving away from the village, Panahi sees that Ghazal and Soldus have been killed by shooting while eloping, crossing the border. So this is the story. Iranian filmmakers show very strong subjects in their film in subtle ways. They are constantly supervised and monitored. They are imprisoned, rigorous imprisonment. And in prison, they are monstrously tortured. Iranian government, authoritarian and suppressive government try to break their indomitable spirit, exerting all sorts of pressure and forces. But Iranian filmmakers dare to stand against the government, dare to raise their voices against the authoritative government. They revolt through their films for countless innocent civilians They don't know how to stop, they don't surrender. And Jafar Panahi is an important symbol of resistance and protest on behalf of countless innocent civilians by the Iranian filmmakers against the Iranian authoritative and suppressive government. Panahi shows two parallel worlds in this film: the worlds of oppression and bondage of ordinary civilians. In one world, government forces a couple to flee, to leave Iran and stay temporarily in Turkey. And in both the worlds, government and village crush ordinary Iranians to death. Zara becomes furious because of Bakhtiar's lie. She doesn't want to go Paris all alone, and she commits suicide jumping into the river, jumping into the sea. And in the other storyline, Soldu's and Ghazal's affair does not get approved by the villagers. They are forced to elope from the village, crossing the border, and during that time, they are killed by shooting by the border security forces. Panahi clearly shows the fate of ordinary civilians. Government and village tradition crush people to death. He shows how basic human rights, civil rights are violated in modern Iran. So this is a very, very important film. And all these things are very much clear. These are very, very important film, and in this film, Panahi shows what happens to ordinary Iranians. And one of the most important aspect is the bear story. And an analogy can be built between the bear story and authoritative figures. The villager clearly tells Panahi that these stories are lie. They are built up to scare people. Same with the authoritative figures, the authorities. They try to dominate, dictate to ordinary civilians. If ordinary civilians accede to their demand, their suppression, then their basic human rights, civil rights will be violated. But if they revolt, then they will not be able to dominate or dictate to ordinary civilians. Panahi clearly shows that. So even though it looks like that Iranian films are very simple, simple stories of ordinary civilians in the backdrop of rural atmosphere, but through these simple films, Iranian filmmakers make strong and vivid messages. And same with this film, through two very ordinary storylines, Panahi shows how government forces and village traditions try to bound people in their boundaries. They try to dominate, they try to dictate, and ultimately ordinary civilians are crushed to death. No Bears has the structure of contemporary Iranian films. It has mostly non-professional actors, very natural acting, a rural atmosphere, but very important messages. Simple storyline and dialogues, but very important messages, very important dealings, important topics that really need to be discussed in the modern world. Ahmed Jafari's cinematography, especially during the night scenes near the Iran-Turkey border, thrills the viewers. No Bears has received widespread critical acclaim all over the world. Viewers across the world have lauded Panahi's courage and indomitable independent artistic spirit to portray these stories. Stories of ordinary Iranian civilians. No Bears competed for the prestigious Golden Lion in 2022 Venice Film Festival, where it won the Special Jury Prize and numerous other accolades and awards all over the world. So you are not going to miss this film. I request you, please see this film. You all know Jafar Panahi, his spirit, his filmmaking. The world is well aware of. Please see this film. This is the request. And the request from my side, please subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon so that you do not miss regular updates. And thanks for watching this video. And until I make the next video, thank you so much and bye.